A warm welcome to Indian Resin Manufacturing Association. And before starting any function, it's always our way of to start to light a lamp. So it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome all the past presidents of the association who laid the foundation of this IRMA. I request all of you to come to the stage and light the lamp. Please join. So lighting a lamp has always been a symbol of knowledge, it's a wisdom and dispelling of darkness. The past presidents to grace this occasion who have guided this organization with vision, dedication and selfless service. Yep. May I request our President, Mr. Hiren, and Vice President, Mr. Aditya, to take your seat, please. Welcome. Now that the quorum is present, I open this meeting for all our discussions. I think the most important part, while welcoming the entire delegates for this meeting, I just wanted to share, the background, the global politics, the geopolitics, what is happening, and the challenges what the industries are facing today, particularly the Indian manufacturers, with all the T factors and lot of other thing happening. So it is important for an association like this, IRMA, the way we contributed to the industry and which we wanted to do more. For example, getting the anti-dumping duty for epoxy, I think Satyaj and myself, we can share a lot. And not only that, sharing a lot of lectures, I'm sure, our President Hiren will share all that what we did. I think the importance of an association is, very relevant in today's context, because the global world has become a kind of local, and everybody wants a factory to next door, right? And the word globalization doesn't have any meaning in the current context. It's all about regionalism, protectionism. That's what is happening. So it's very important that IRMA as a member come together and work together for the benefit of the industry and do what we can do. So welcome all of you once again for this. Now may I request our President, Mr. Hiren, to give you a speech. Okay, so I think before Hiren comes in, Aditya will welcome the President with a bouquet. Thank you, Aditya. So over to you, Hiren.
Namaste, IRMA Parivar. Well, respected members of IRMA, distinguished guests, colleagues, past presidents and friends, good evening to all of you. It is with a deep sense of pride, humility and gratitude I stand before you today addressing this august gathering as a president for one more last time. Welcome to the AGM of IRMA. Firstly, I would like to thank each and every one of you for the trust you placed in me to serve in this esteemed position. Leading this association has been both an honor and a tremendous learning experience. Together, we have faced challenges, celebrated success, and strengthened the foundation of our industry. Over the past 2 years, we have witnessed significant transformations in the resin manufacturing landscape, driven by evolving market demands, technological advancements, and a global push towards sustainability. Despite the complexities of regulatory changes, raw material volatility, supply chain disruptions, our member companies have shown resilience, innovation, and collaborations. Well, the achievement and progress for the past 2 years, during my tenure, I am proud to highlight a few key initiatives and milestones we achieved together. Policy advocacy. We intensified our dialogue with government bodies and policymakers, voicing the concerns of our industry and ensuring that our members' interests were represented in important policy decisions. We have been circulating all important GST announcements for the benefit of our members. We have presented in front of government, which helped in getting anti-dumping duty on epoxy resins recommended by DGTR. Sustainability and innovations. Recognizing the global emphasis on green chemistry and circular economy, we launched collaborative initiatives focused on sustainable resins, technologies, and practices. Knowledge sharing through webinars, technical seminars, workshops, we foster a culture of continuous learning and development within our community. There were various lectures arranged in the past 2 years by Mr. R.G. Krishnan of Aditya Birla, who stated upon the regulatory changes and its implications on the Indian industry exports. IRMA Impact Series, which was started in this term, there was a lecture by Mr. Nimesh Rathod on economized geopolitical impacts on businesses, which was well received by all our members. There was also a lecture on disruption of global supply chain, impact on our business by Mr. Jeevan Pawar. We foresee that this IRMA Impact Series goes on and has a long way to go ahead. There was presentation by Mr. Sandesh Vasant Mistry. He is a family business consulting, mentoring a pioneer in this field of topic, the family, the business, and management. Well, I'm proud to say that in place of one, we had 2 technical workshops in this term. Firstly, we had one with IRMA and Aditya Birla Group, Aditya Birla Advanced Material Joint Technical Workshop, which was on the topic of advancement in epoxy technology by key members from Aditya Birla Materials, including Dr. Bharat Singh and Dr. B. Venkatraman, the President and CMO of Aditya Birla Advanced Materials, and he is, as of now, the current Honorary Secretary of IRMA. We also had technical workshop at the Institute of Chemical Technology, which is a fortress for IRMA. Almost after 6 years on the topic Advanced Chemical Technologies in Resin Manufacturing, Innovation for Profitability. The chief guest of this workshop was Professor Anirudh B. Pandit, Vice Chancellor HOD. Professor S.T. Muske of ICT was instrumental in organizing this event at ICT. The convener of this workshop was Mr. Gaurav Sathe. Also, in this term, we had 2 night and 3 days seminar in place of our General Overnight Seminar, which was well received and appreciated by all our members. Seminar on emerging trends under my presidency and convenorship of M. Challawala, co-convenorship of Ms. S. Mahadevan of, at Devka Beach Resort, Nani Daman. The keynote speaker and guest of honor, Mr. Deepak Gaisas, Chairman and Chief Mentor, Gankovel Group on the topic Butterfly Effect, Global Disruptions, Indian Opportunities. Over the 3 days, we saw leading experts, dedicated manufacturers, and enthusiastic participants come together to explore new technologies, share invaluable insights, and discuss the future of our sector. The quality of the presentation and the depth of the discussions were truly remarkable. This seminar not only provided a platform for knowledge exchange, but also strengthened the bond within our community. The success of this event is a clear indicator that the Indian resin industry is on an exciting trajectory. We are poised to lead not just regionally but globally. The technologies and ideas shared during the seminar will undoubtedly fuel new developments, improve efficiency, and help us address the evolving need of the market. Not to forget, we made around 12 lakh of profit during this seminar, which was, thank you, which was largest till date in the history of IRMA. We will be using this for the benefit of our members by the incoming committee. We often organize the member engagements. We strengthen our network by welcoming new members and improving communication channels, ensuring every voice in our association was heard and valued. Presentation on purpose of life by Mr. Sapan Kumar, who is a transformational coach for self and organization development. IRMA e-newsletter is being published. We have IRMA News editorial board. IRMA e-newsletter is being regularly modified and updated, and new topic and information. All thanks to the chief editor, Mr. Ashay, and his team. IRMA President page is being published in most of the Paint India magazine editions. We also engage the members and enroll new members in our esteemed association via membership drive. Like a feather on the cap, for the first time, once again in the history of IRMA, a president's interview, insider views, had been published in the International China Coat magazine, the China Coating Journal, July edition. Thank you. These accomplishments were not the result of the individual efforts, but a collective will. I sincerely thank the executive committee, the secretariat, and the subcommittee for their unwavering support, dedication, and hard work. All the events of this magnitude would not have been possible without the support of our sponsors, who are our backbone. We thank them from the bottom of our heart, along with appreciating the efforts of our convention and committee to make all of this a mega event. The wait has been long, but finally, with unabated breath, the day of reckoning arrived. With smile on the face of all the delegates was reward for the entire committee. Looking ahead, as I pass the baton to the incoming president, that the association is in very capable hands. There is still much to be done. The resin industry in India stands at a crossroads with immense potential for growth, especially in exports, specialty resin, and sustainable initiatives. It is imperative that we as an industry stay ahead of the curve through continuous innovations, collaborations, and ethical business practices. I urge the new leadership to continue the momentum and further strengthen our partnership with academia, research institutions, and international bodies. Let us work together to make India not just a hub of resin, but a global leader in responsible and cutting edge resin solutions. As we look ahead, let's carry the momentum forward. Let's continue to collaborate, innovate, and work together to build a more sustainable and prosperous future for the Indian resin industry. On a personal note, I am truly grateful for the relationships I have built during this journey, the mentorship from the past presidents, and the shared vision for our industry. This role has enriched me professionally and personally as well. And I remain committed to supporting IRMA in every way I can, even beyond my tenure. Special thanks to Mahadevanji, Aditya, Dr. Venkat, Bhagyesh, Gaurav, Vikrant, Ashay, Parag, Raj. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the speakers, delegates, and our dedicated team whose tireless efforts made this term a resounding success. Your participation and engagement are true pillars of IRMA's strength. Last but not the least, a heartfelt thanks to our hardworking secretary, Mr. N. Kannan, for his tireless efforts. Thank you, Kananji. Not to forget my entire family who motivated and guided me. My wife, my son, by the way, whose 9th birthday is there today, still I am here. To understand my love and care for IRMA and sparing me even today. Thanks to my mom, dad for their blessings. I would like to call upon the entire committee for a small token of appreciation by Memento. My entire committee on the stage, please. Let's have a huge round of applause, guys. Friends, let us celebrate how far we have come and prepare with renewed vigor for the journey ahead. I thank you once again for the opportunity to serve, and I look forward to continuing as a proud and active member of IRMA, wishing the incoming leadership a successful and impactful term. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Venkat.
Thank you, Hiren. I think if you really ask me for the last 2 years, how much the needle has moved, that's how we talk in corporate league, right? How much the needle has moved. I can proudly say as part of the member, of this committee, I think so many things have happened and a lot of transformation happened as rightly Hiren mentioned. So I'm sure it's a journey. I think we need to look at it much more milestone as we move ahead. So let me straight away get into the act of putting the proposals in before of AGM and getting it approved. Today we have close to around 5 proposals. 5 proposals if you want to take it. So number 1, the first proposal is all about to read, approve and sign the minutes of the last AGM held on 27 September 2024. The minutes of the AGM held on 27 September 2024 have already been circulated to all the members as part of the annual report, and I take the liberty of considering the same as read. Now I propose the following. Resolved that the minutes of the last AGM held on 27 September 2024 are hereby read, approved and signed. I would like to know the person name who would like to second it. Yeah. Kananji. Yeah, please. Okay, sure. Thank you, sir. Now let me quickly move into the item number 2. This is all about to receive and adopt the report of the managing committee together with the statement of audited accounts for the year ended in 31st March 2025. Now I propose the following. Resolved that the audited balance sheet of 31 March 2025 and the income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st March 2025 and the report of the managing committee thereon be and are hereby received, considered and adopted. I would like to know the person name who would like to second it. Yeah, Ms. Mahadevan? Yeah. Thank you. Very quick. The third one, to appoint auditors for the 2025-2026 period and to fix their remuneration. In view of the term of office of our auditor, Ms. Shakalkar and Associates, ending at the end of this ensuing AGM, I propose that MS Shakalkar and Associates, having offered themselves for appointment as auditor for the year 25-26, be appointed as auditor of the association to hold office till the conclusion of the next AGM. For this, I propose the following resolution. Resolved that the retiring auditors MS Shakalkar and Associates be and are hereby reappointed as auditor of the association to hold office till the conclusion of the next AGM on a remuneration to be decided mutually between the said auditor and the management committee of the association. Now I put this resolution to vote and propose it. Let me know who wants to second this. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Item number 4. Okay. Election of management committee for the year 2025-2027. It's 2-year period. We have received nomination from the following and want to be in order. Mr. Aditya Chandrachud, President, Boro Chris. Dr. B. Venkatraman, myself, President, Grasim Industries, Aditya Birla Group. Mr. Bhagesh Narkade, Honorable Secretary, Mac Coatings. Mr. Gaurav Sate, Treasurer, DSV Chemicals Private Limited. Mr. Vikrant Kirit Bajaria, Member, Provic Industries. Mr. Satesh Nabar, Member, DCM Serum Limited. Mr. Varun Kapoor, Member, Gargi Huttons Albertus. And Mr. Raj Narkade, Member, Narkade Chemicals. So the immediate past President, Mr. Hiren Shah, Beta Paint Industries, will continue to be a committee member. Since there is no other contestants, we take the above candidates as elected. The following resolution is to be and hereby passed unanimously. Resolved that the following candidates with their respective posts have been elected unanimously by AGM. Mr. Aditya Chandrachud, President, Borocris. Dr. B. Venkatraman, President. Myself from Grasim Industries. Vice President. So, I read written it? Okay, sorry. I was talking about my designation and all. So, Vice President, Grasim Industries, and Bhagesh Nakade, Honorable Secretary, MAC Coatings. Mr. Gaurav Sate, Treasurer, DSV Chemicals. So, Vikrant Kirit Bajaria, Member, Provic Industries. Mr. Satesh Nabar, Member, DCM Serum Limited. Mr. Varun Kapoor, Member, Gargi Huttons Albertus. Mr. Raj Narkade, Member, Narkade Chemicals. The immediate past President, Mr. Hiren Chidendra Shah, Beta Paint Industries, will continue to be the committee member. So proposed by, I would like to have your name, proposal, and also the seconded by. So can I name the name, proposal? Sir, gentleman name. And seconded by? You taken that? Yeah. Thanks and congratulations to the new committee. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So, the last item, to transact such other business as may be brought by any member after due notice or with the permission of the chair. If there are no queries, we move on. Yeah? Thank you. Now I invite Mr. Aditya Chandrachud, our Vice President, to give vote of thanks.
Good evening, everybody. On behalf of Indian Resin Manufacturers Association, I extend my heartfelt thanks to all members present here today and for making this AGM a success. A special word of gratitude to our past presidents, our managing committee, all our members, and a special thanks to Kananji, whose consistent efforts ensure that IRMA continues to grow stronger every year. A special thanks to our invited guests and our guest speaker. Thank you for sharing your valuable time, and I really apologize for starting late. Most importantly, thank you, each one of you, our members, for your active participation throughout the last 2 years and your unwavering support. This is the true strength of this association. I'll keep this short. Thank you so much.
So, the outgoing president, Mr. Hiren Shah, will hand over charge to the incoming president, Mr. Aditya Chandrachud, and welcome him with a flower bouquet. Congratulations. Thank you. Now, the incoming president, Mr. Aditya Chandrachud, will hand over silver memento to the outgoing president, Mr. Hiren Shah. Before I invite our president, newly elected president, Mr. Aditya Chandrachud, I would like to run a video on this clip.
Introducing Mr. Aditya Chandrachud, the newly elected president of the Indian Resins Manufacturers Association. Aditya completed his schooling at Our Lady of Perpetual Succor High School, Mumbai, where he ranked among the top 10 in his board examinations. He pursued junior college at Swami Vivekanand Junior College with computers as his elective, and later went on to earn his petrochemical engineering degree from MIT Pune with first-class distinction. During his college years, he represented his department in inter-college paper presentations, and served as the Joint General Secretary of the Chemical Department. In the year 2000, Aditya joined his family business, Buro Chris, founded by his father Mr. Balal Chandrachud in 1988. Expanding the legacy, he set up a new resin manufacturing unit at Taloja, with valuable support from industry stalwarts such as past President Ashok Goklani. Aditya pursued further education in France and UK, and completed his European fragrance and cosmetic master. Over the years, Aditya diversified into cosmetics and skincare, catering to salons, spas, and five-star hotels across India, and later ventured into aluminium powder and paste manufacturing for the coatings industry. Aditya's association with Indian Resin Manufacturers Association began a decade ago, though new he was warmly guided by past President Siddharth Bhai Shah. He contributed by launching the association's first ever e-newsletter, and steadily rose through the ranks, serving as treasurer, secretary, vice president, and today, president. Aditya now takes on this new role, with a vision to strengthen this association as a hub of knowledge, collaboration, and growth. With his leadership and the support of members, he is confident of taking the association to greater heights. Aditya has a very close-knit family, parents Vasudha and Ballal Chandrachud, wife Meghna, and two wonderful children, Ishan and Avantika, who are 17 and 7 respectively. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Aditya Chandrachud, President of Indian Resin Manufacturers Association 2025 to 2027.
Good evening once again, ladies, gentlemen, colleagues, esteemed guests, friends, family, and fellow resin warriors. First, let me thank you for trusting me to lead the Indian Resin Manufacturers Association for the next 2 years. When I joined IRMA as a managing committee member almost a decade ago, my father, past President Ballal Chandrachud, reminded me that I am not just taking a post, but I am committing to responsibility. And now again, he has reminded me that President comes with more responsibilities and fewer excuses. I stand here today deeply honored and equally energized to take our association forward. Over the years, IRMA has grown not just as a body of manufacturers, but as a strong voice for the resin and paint industry. We have navigated volatile raw material prices, evolving environmental norms, and shifting customer expectations. And today, the resin industry is facing some exciting times. India is emerging as a manufacturing hub with strong domestic demand for paints, coatings, adhesives, and composites. Yes, the challenges are real, but so are the opportunities. And I believe IRMA is well placed to help us convert these opportunities into growth. In IRMA, we have built a culture of learning, collaboration, and fellowship, and that is our biggest strength. I salute my predecessors whose steady leadership has brought us this far. My role is not only to steadily roll the wheels which are already in motion, but sometimes even to reinvent those wheels to make it roll faster, smoother, and a little greener. For the next 2 years, my focus will be on 3 pillars: knowledge and learning, collaboration and advocacy, and future readiness and sustainability. Friends, leadership in today's world is not about giving directions. It is about creating those directions together. As a president, I promise to bring clarity, energy, and commitment while keeping our journey enjoyable. This idea of future readiness came to me a few days ago, and I have actually already started implementing this idea, in which I am developing systems for our association. When I thought about this, it was the first time during our seminar in Daman. I built a very small system to track the payments that we have received. Small things like photographs which are required for the souvenir magazine, ads that are coming, the amount that is spending, which rooms are allocated to whom. In fact, I will be very happy to show you where I have started and what we want to do. In fact, last few days also I have started building some systems. I'll be more than happy to share them with you. So this was a very, very basic system where we segregated, on type of rooms, whether it was a single room, room with spouse, with child, how much money is to be received, how many rooms are paid rooms, how many are free rooms, how many rooms are given to the sponsor, and finally, everything which came into a summary that, how many people, how much was the total ad budget, how much money was spending, etc., etc. So this was a very basic start that I made. Now, I want to take this a little on the upper level. I have started off with a system for new membership. Here we are going to, maybe I can zoom. So whenever we get a new member, what simple things that we have to do? We have to send them a form, we have to receive the form, we have to receive the GST certificate, receive the payment, send them an invoice, send them a welcome letter. We are in fact even about to start distributing certificates for being a member of IRMA. So that is my next this thing which I want to do. I will show you one. This is the beginning part. Now I have already developed entire list of our current members. How many members are associate, how many are ordinary, whose membership has started which year, who has a yearly membership, who has a 5-yearly membership, when the membership is expiring, and when is the new renewal. So I have already started tracking this. If you want, I can just show you one very, very small demo. If we have a new member, let's say his name is Trial Co. And I have actually already started training Kananji on this. Let's say you have sent the form, whatever, received the certificate, payment is pending, etc., etc. Once this data is filled, let's say the member has paid since 1/4/2025, and type of membership is yearly. So we automatically get the year of subscription, the year of renewal. If we choose 5-yearly, the membership date goes to 2031, etc., etc. And the moment once I receive all the documents and I submit the form, this member is now added to our regular database. This member is now your regular member. To make it actually a little simpler, I have also prepared a dashboard to calculate the members. This 149 shows because I have just added one extra trial company. That's why it's not showing as an ordinary or associate. It's just one extra. This is for Kananji to track every member. For example, if I want to see how many companies with the letter, let's say I want to search for Borocris, I go to BO. Search, you have two companies, one is Botchers and one is Borocris. They're both ordinary members. Membership is, starting date, ending date. So this is, and then I can just clear the form. Kananji can also track by the year how many members are going to, their next year their membership is going to get renewed. Sorry. Yeah, so either this. So, it will give you an idea. It will immediately sort the data. Let's say which company is going to have a renewal in 2030. So there are 3 companies. I think internet is very slow here. However, so this is a gist. Yeah. So this is just a gist of what I plan to do, and my aim is to have systems where we can track every single activity of what this association is doing. And I know it will take time. There will be a lot of trials and errors, but I think within a year we should be happy to, we will be ready with this. I think this is a surprise even for my colleagues. None of them know. I think the only person knows about this is Kananji, because I had to train him on a little bit of the systems. I don't know how many of my friends will be able to help me, maybe other than Gaurav. Maybe he has, I think there might be 2 reasons that you will help me. One is because I think you would understand what I'm trying to do, and second, because I would be asking you to do it. So, okay. I think I have almost finished with my thing. Acha, one more thing is that I will also be making training videos on these systems, because at any future date, whoever is the committee can always refer, even 5 years down the line, to what these systems were. And whoever the new executive secretary might be, whichever new team is there, they can easily get back to these systems with the training modules. So that's it from me, but before I end, I would like to thank first my father, past president of IRMA, Ballal Chandrachud, for being my guru. He is the reason I am where I am. My mother, Vasudha, for grooming me, teaching me, supporting me in the thick and thin of my growing years. My sister, Almitra Chandrachud Timbadia, for letting me be her elder brother and motivating me in every phase of my life. My son, Ishan, for always looking up to me as a father figure and for always keeping me on my toes, and thus young. My wife, Meghna, for everything, I mean actually everything of what I am today. And last but not the least, my daughter, Avantika, for showing me how important the child energy in everyone is, and how important it is to smile all the time. I hope the team that I have right now will work with me with the same child energy and with the same smile. Thank you all for this opportunity. Let's roll up our sleeves now, maybe get a little resin on it, and let's get to work.
So now our President, Mr. Aditya Chandrachud, will welcome the new management committee with the IRMA tax. So all the committee members, please join.
So we have made IRMA tags. This is the first time I think we'll be presenting to the committee. So I'm pretty glad it's going to happen through me.
guy coming in from a corporate, I want to share some of the reflection from my side. Okay, somehow I'm not good in reading the paper. That's a problem with me. So I want to share. There's always a belief or a misbelief. Satya, you can correct me. The corporate guys cannot work with the promoters because they always believe, it's a different culture. And promoters believe this corporate guy doesn't understand the pain of an entrepreneur. Right? There's always a kind of misbelief happening. I think if you look at the whole last 2 years, all the committee member, mostly all of them are promoters coming in, right? So for me, when I was inducted into this committee, it was always a kind of doubt in my mind whether I'll be able to work with these guys or at the same vice versa, right? But I can only share with you in the last 2 years, amazing. We complemented very well. There's a best example to give. A corporate and an entrepreneur can work together, complement each other to take to the next level of an association. So that's a wonderful thing. So I see, maybe I don't know whether I'm the first corporate guy to move into the committee or maybe somebody else before. But I think that's a great moment. I enjoyed that working with every one of you. I think the key was being flexible, being adaptable, and complement each other rather than competing with each other. I think that is a great lesson. I just want to reflect. That's why when I invited Satish, I shared them. It's a wonderful time to work for IRMA. Thanks, Satish, for accepting and joining us. He's the CEO of DCM. So that's the one reflection I want. And the last thing, as a vice president of the current committee, I wanted to, before we hand it over, just 4 things I want to share about, the challenges and what we want to do, right? The challenges among all the manufacturing, particularly resin manufacturing, people say by 2030, 30% of the GDP will come from manufacturing. If that is going to happen, so number one, I think it's important that we need to win at home. In the sense, we need to create capability and scale at home. Whether it is alkyd, acrylic, amino, epoxy, polyester, we need to build scale at home, right? Because before you going global, are we able to build the scale and cater the demand? Every kilo of the import, we need to substitute it if we have to really achieve that. Yesterday we heard it from Vikas from ICC, right? So every kilo that we are importing, we need to target how can I substitute in the market that is going to give a boost for our resin manufacturing. For example, in epoxy space, we have done completely. And there are so many other chemistries which we can do, number one. So second point, we have to go global. Before we global, we need to be competitive, cost competitive. Today, Indian manufacturer, resin manufacturer, we are not competitive. Whether we call about the scale or about our infrastructure, logistics, we are far behind. So how do we develop the competitiveness? That's where the working with government and associations, what can be created, how we want to work, which is very critical for us being, otherwise we can't compete with China today. There's nothing wrong with China because they're doing so well and they are cost competitive global scale. So how do we compete? That's the second point. That's where the third one, it's all about the technology and R&D and innovation coming in. How can we lead? Not on the commodity product, how can I generate a value-added product? If you look at China and Korea, China was a commodity, Korea was all value-added product. They really took the differentiation and went ahead in electronics. How can we create that value-added product for us, which is a very important point. And the last part, whatever we do, is it going to harm our society or environment? So how can we develop sustainable product, green product, which is going to help the society? I think if we can focus these 3-4 themes, I think that's a challenge for our IRMA committee also. How do we do this? And that's going to be great for the country. Thank you. Now I invite our speaker. So guest speaker, Mr. Suman Naik, to speak on the subject. I think the very relevant and right subject. We read a lot about the chemistry, kinetics of reaction, right? All of us from chemistry background. But I think he's going to talk about kinetics of change, challenges and opportunities for family business and our industry. Mr. Suman, I welcome. Please. I think, it's more appropriate for a speaker to get introduced by our past president, Mr. Gaurav Sathe. Please. So I request our past president, Mr. Bala Chandrachud, to welcome the speaker with a bouquet. Yeah.
मेरे को बुलाए बोलते हैं
Without you, how do we do it?
My name is not Gaurav, by the way. My name is not Gaurav. Hey, well done. Sorry.
So Dhananjay Sathe, I request you to introduce our speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, over to you.
So sit down. It is not going to be long, but still sit down. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, President Aditya and the new team. Now, as compared to fantastic ideas he has brought in, and as he has mentioned the child enthusiasm, believe me, all the past presidents, though they may be older in the age apparently, they have got more child in them, so you can use them. Okay? Child energy. Child energy. Okay. Friends, I feel very honored to have been called to introduce Suman Naik. I need to read. Actually, I have been instructed to be very brief. But the greatest advantage I got is he has been so clever that he has given me only so much of biodata. So I had to increase it. And even then I am not going to cross 3 minutes, believe me. Mr. Suman Naik is today the CEO of ITC Colors India. It's a company known for its dyes and pigments, which bring vibrancy to industries ranging from food processing and plastics to printing inks. Under his leadership, ITC Colors has expanded its global footprint and established excellent exports to UK, Germany, Italy, South Africa, Korea, Middle East and North Africa. Maybe there are more countries which he has not written down. And moved strongly towards the sustainable and eco-friendly solutions. Academically, Mr. Naik holds a master's degree in organic chemistry from the prestigious Royal Institute of Science. This strong scientific foundation has been a hallmark of his career, enabling him to bridge chemistry with commerce and steer his company with both technical depth and strategic vision. Now let me add a personal shade to this picture. Both Sumant and I were invited to join Rotary back in 1988. The same year ITC Color was founded. That means for the last 37 years, we have been in the same club, the same circles, and sometimes in the same trouble. Our friendship has only grown richer with time. In fact, when I requested him to speak at this AGM, he readily agreed, not because of my great influence, but because after 37 years of friendship, he knows that if he declined, I would keep reminding about it at every Rotary meeting. On a serious note, Sumant is not just a successful leader. He is also a warm-hearted individual, a thoughtful mentor, and someone who has always contributed generously to our industry forums. His charming wife Suchitra had accepted the kind invitation, but she could not join us. So please tell her that we missed her very badly. So friends, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Suman Naik.
Hello, good evening, friends. First of all, let me congratulate President Aditya for assuming the presidency of this prestigious institution, and also welcome First Lady Meghna, as we say in Rotary. You have to be a source of support for this young man. I also take this opportunity to congratulate President Hiren. I think he's been the youngest at 31 to assume the mantle of presidency, and I can see very clearly that he has done a fabulous job, and you set a good example to those leaders who are going to follow after you. So, Aditya, you will have to rise to the occasion. Less time in Sennar and more with IRMA. You know, being a speaker, he's already done the setting. He's calling himself the pilot car now. The thing is now that, you know, being a speaker, guest speaker at the end of a long AGM is very challenging, because all the people sitting there, especially the ladies who are thinking of going home and getting an early night on a Saturday evening, the gentlemen who are saying this guy is the last barrier between me, the dinner and the drinks. So I'm going to attempt to be as brief as possible, past President Dhananjay, but I will still take 30 minutes of your time. You know, when I was asked to speak, by the way, incidentally, this is my second occasion where I've been invited as a speaker at the AGM. It's not the first one. And that was a few years ago. I think we define now pre-BC and AD, so it was like pre-COVID, and this is after COVID. I looked at, the definition of a resin, and it said the functionality of a resin, whether it's an alkyd resin or an epoxy resin, is basically to provide adhesion and provide durability. One thing I can see in the organization, that the adhesion has come from generation to generation in a very, very nice way. I'm telling you, to see an association where the young and the older ones come together so well, as I can see in the committees also. The committees are also well reflected with the senior members and the junior members also. And so you created a pipeline, which is really a big challenge. This is especially a challenge because family businesses, which contribute about 80%, mind you, 80% of India's GDP, the biggest problem now is succession. Because you send your children abroad, you give them a master's in education, they go to America, they go to some MIT, fancy universities, and as you can see, like my son, he doesn't want to come into my manufacturing business. He says, I want to do private equity, I want to do this, fintech, and all those things. So I congratulate the founding presidents, and Ballal says, Sumant, you forget about your son. I've got even the third generation ready, and that is why he's got his son here also, all dressed up, as you can see, in training to take over IRMA at some point of time. So I think I congratulate you. The other thing I notice, that resins also have one more power, and that is the power that you can bring children of the founding members to fall in love and get married. So I asked for this very interesting trivia, Ballal. I said, how many couples are there who have been meeting through IRMA? And he said, and Aditya said, and Gaurav said, we are exclusive, we are the only ones, and we are not going to let this happen again. So Gaurav, I think when you become president, you got to make it happen again, so that the guest speaker come and say, okay, fine, you had the second example. So I think that's a very, very nice thing to do. The topic for today sounds very, very fancy, but I have tried to keep it very, very simple, because I also come from the SME background, and I think the challenges that we are facing today is uniform. Whether you're in resins or you're in dyes and pigments like me, the challenges are all the same. I've attempted to put together a presentation which I think addresses a lot of the issue. Dr. Venkat, as secretary, he addressed some of these issues, and I found that the issues that we face in the SME industry are the same everywhere. So we'll talk about this thing. So the first thing is that, what kind of hats do we wear? When you are a family-owned business, madam, you are a owner, and when you start the business, you're also the peon, you're also the chaprasi, you are everything. I think when Ballal started his unit at Sinnar, and when I saw this Almitra and, Aditya holding the axe, you can see that it was a family-run business at that time. Huh? You even got your kids to work. If you were in America, Ballal, you would have been in trouble. Huh? Putting your kids to work and dig up your foundation. It was only for photo. This is typical inner wheel and this thing. She says, कुछ भी काम होता है only photo के लिए होता है.
If you would have transferred some shares to me at that time, it wouldn't have been legal.
Clever boy. Okay. So we are everything. We are owner, we are worker, we are manager, and we are also consultant. And it's a good thing you are not a consultant, because what the consultants do is they charge you fat fees for learning at your expense. I always call a consultant somebody who's a failed entrepreneur, and that's what it is, you know. But I think that when you become professional, this is part of the thing that you have to look at. September of 2025, and we think about something which is very, very uncertain. Because you don't know, you get up in the morning and Trump says 50%, you don't know whether in the evening, like the share market, whether it is going to be 27% or it is going to be 77%. You don't know. I mean, I was just reading the shorts on this thing, and he says now for all H-1B workers, they have to pay $100,000 every year. And you know what happened? All the people who were boarding a plane to come to India jumped off the plane and ran back home. Because they said, इतना तो 80 लाख 85 lakhs तो कोई नहीं देने वाला है, so I better go home and start working there and staying there in America, you know. So we call this world, in those of you who done their MBA, we call it the VUCA world. Does anybody know what VUCA stands for? What VUCA stands for, and this has been a management terminology which was invented back in the 1980s and 1990s at all business schools. But you see this VUCA world happening to all industries on a global scale, you know, everywhere, all the time. So what does VUCA stand for? VUCA stands for volatility. Yes, Gaurav? Uncertainty. C, complexity. And A is ambiguity. So we are faced, see, the bigger you are, the bigger the challenges that you face. The smaller you are in a smaller world, but we are all in an interconnected world now. Your raw materials are coming from China, and President Hitin also spoke about the fact that he used his good offices to reduce the customs duties on epoxy resins, right? So you use the institutional mechanism to do that. So in a way, we are all in an interconnected world, and therefore we have to be cognizant about things that happen around us. But there is a silver lining in the horizon. As somebody pointed out, as Dr. Venkat also pointed out, we are right now in a sweet spot as far as, if you think of resins, I was given to understand that resins are both commodity chemicals as well as specialty chemicals. If we can move, and I'll come to this later, I call it the blue ocean strategy. If we can move the needle from being commodity to specialty, I think we've struck gold. Because I will show you geographically why India is perfectly positioned to not only be a manufacturing hub, but also replace China in the China plus one category, especially as far as specialty this thing. Look at the statistics. In India, the specialty chemicals is growing at a compound growth rate of 67% per annum. Okay, these are confirmed statistics. Whereas China is only growing at 27%. The reason for that is that there is a lot of controls and restrictions in China on the production of hazardous chemicals. So the whole manufacturing sector is moving. It's moving from China slowly towards other countries, towards Thailand, towards India. India with a large feedstock readily available here, it becomes much more possible that India can emerge. But how do we take advantage of this trend? I'll come to that later also. So in India, the specialty chemical segment represents 22% of the total India's $32 billion market, which is a fairly large segment. So what are the opportunities that can be derived by integrating with the global supply chain? If you look at India, it is perfectly positioned between the West, which is Europe, where industry is dying because the cost of energy is becoming unbearable because of the Russian sanctions. And then you have the East, which provides you a rich source. So here is geographically, India is the best position to take advantage of markets to the west of us and as raw material suppliers to the east of us. We are already creating new ports, new internal land routes to improve the supply chain, and the kind of progress that India has seen growing at 6 to 7% in the last 10 years is unprecedented. It has created a tremendous amount of wealth in the middle class, in the manufacturing sector. And I have a lot of friends who are, for example, in defense and aerospace. And the kind of work that Godrej is doing and L&T is doing is fabulous. So even in chemicals, the same thing is going to repeat. And what was actually small scale manufacturing, batch manufacturing, which is what colors are, which is what resins is, small scale batch manufacturing is going to be, because in this particular segment of batch manufacturing, China, and I repeat, China cannot compete with us. So we have a tremendous advantage. And there is no other country. Europe is dying as a manufacturing base. So India is the only solution for the next 25 or 30 years. Now the only question is how we as a small scale industry, how as a SME, we can apply ourselves to use those opportunities. I was told by one of your members that there are two parts to it. There are some members who are doing extremely well, some members whose growth is somewhat muted. So maybe we can identify those segments where the growth can come about in a much, much bigger way compared to a commodity segment. So I spoke about that we have a relocation of hazardous manufacturing, and this is happening in the dyes industry also. Let me tell you, in my industry, I'm in food colors. 100% of the food colors of the world are manufactured in India. There is not 1 kilo being manufactured anywhere in the world, not even in China, not even in Korea, not even in Japan. China buys food colors from me, but they don't do it directly. They buy it through my Korean distributor. So even China are not interested in the small batch manufacturing. Okay, this is a very, very important lesson to take home. So creating low-cost operations, skilled workforce, access to an extensive coastline, navigable waterways, supportive government policies, create considerable opportunities for import substitution for the domestic market as well as for exports. One of the things that, that can emerge, for example, is the FTA that we've signed with some of the European countries. We've already signed with the UK. We are going to be signing very soon with the EU, and very soon we'll be also signing with the GCC and other countries. So these things are happening step by step. One thing that I can see is that one problem that we have in creating specialty chemicals is whether we can have the R&D setup. And there is a perfect model to this thing. You know what the Chinese did before they created this extensive manufacturing? They took their graduates from good colleges, good universities, implanted them in research institutes across Europe. They did that in the US. Some people said they stole the technology. And most of the time, especially in high tech, they probably have stolen the technology. But what I'm trying to say is that many of the companies in the UK, for example, which has excellent R&D and innovation facilities, the moment the manufacturing closes down, they are going to be offering their R&D services to the manufacturing sector in India. And services are going to be duty free. So this is a very, very key point, that you can buy into the R&D, whether on royalty basis or otherwise, from countries in Europe, because even in Eindhoven in Netherlands, or whether it is in UK, excellent R&D is going on, excellent R&D. And trust you me, that they would prefer to work with Indian manufacturers than with Chinese manufacturers, because they've had a very, very bad experience working with Chinese manufacturers. So this is a lesson to take home. So these are some of the growth rates that you can see. Global expansion, entering new markets, offers growth potential and reduces supply reliability. Okay. Dr. Venkat and even Aditya and Hiten also spoke about green manufacturing and green resins. I don't know how many of you here are into this sustainable manufacturing. Is there any of the manufacturers who can, by a show of hands, tell me that we are also looking at this possibility of doing green manufacturing or green kind of products? Gaurav? To some extent, okay. And I will tell you, I'll give you my own example how I adopted green manufacturing and how it has benefited my company. Okay. So, what are the important takeaway points? R&D spending, scaling up, outbound mergers and acquisitions with small outfits in the Europe. All of you know, for example, Sudarshan Pigments produce one of the largest pigment manufacturers in Europe, Ubec, at almost a throwaway price. Almost a throwaway price. This is what is happening to European assets. So somebody who's in the SME sector, through leveraging the deals, you are able to buy into a ready-made manufacturing R&D network in Europe at very, very low cost. So I'm going to talk about a turnaround which has come out from an Indian, which is basically a case study. So I'm going to just go through this thing, how these guys worked on it. And this is a real life example. So here was a company which is a mid-sized Indian manufacturer of decorative paints and industrial resins. The revenue was about, I'm not going to name the company, but US dollar 60 million. Okay. The timeline that where they did this turnaround was between 2018 to 2023. What is the problem that they were facing? Hear the problems and understand whether some of these problems are common or some of them are new problems. Following margins, inventory buildup, weak sales growth, high working capital, rising raw material prices, cost volatility because of imported solvents and petrochemical feedstocks, and legacy manufacturing efficiencies. Market competition from larger brands and cheaper imports. So what was the objective? The objective was to restore the positive EBITDA margin within 18 months and reduce the working capital days by 25 to 30%. So what are the things that they worked on? The key things that they worked on. Product mix and pricing, heavy dependence on low margin commodity, decorative paints and standard alkyd resins. The whole portfolio was jiggled. One of the problems that they faced was undisciplined discounting to secure volume with low returns. Procurement and market risk, no hedging, no ad hoc import purchasing exposed to forex because you have volatility on the exchange rate also, and commodity price swings. Multiple small vendors causing poor unit pricing and unreliable supply, manufacturing inefficiencies, low plant utilization, frequent changeovers for small batches, high energy and reject rates. Over-reliance on bulk institutional orders and secondary distributors, weak direct dealer relationship, brand activation in premium segments. So working capital and operations were fine-tuned, dealer credit management was fine-tuned, and organizationally, for greater efficiencies, ERP was used. We use ERP on the cloud for all our manufacturing purposes. We find it much more efficient to do that. So I'm going to talk about something. My company is called ITC Colors Integrated. We started this company, as Dhananjay said, in 1988. And let me tell you my strategy that I adopted to basically gain market leadership. I started the company in 1988. I started in dyes. I started firstly in textile dyes. And then I looked at the food color market because I could see that the food processing industry was going to grow very, very strongly in India. So I went to the two biggest food color manufacturers in India, and I could see one trend which was coming. The trend which was coming in was that I found that the world was going to move away from synthetic to more green products, natural products, organic products. So I went to these two guys, who, by the way, one of them, I don't know if you heard of him, they're called Roha Dichem. He's the largest food color manufacturer in the world today. I sat down with Mr. Tibrewal and I said, Mr. Tibrewal, don't you see this? The future is not in synthetic, it is in naturals. He said, are you crazy? And he completely rejected the proposal that I could even think of something like this. So I took this as a challenge. I started doing R&D in a very, very small way. I started doing R&D on my office table. That's how I started off in life. Okay. I slowly built up the portfolio. My European distributors supported me. And today, I can say with a great deal of pride that we are the largest natural food color manufacturer in India 25 years later. And this is what I call the blue ocean strategy. The blue ocean strategy is to create space where there is little competition. Now, this cannot go on forever because at some point of time, you know how it is in India. If you start a business, even you'll see that the next BD Panwala also will get into the same business after some time. So this happens. So you have to be adroit, you have to be adept to create that portfolio. And what I'm trying to say is I don't know enough about your resin business, but I think that this can apply in any business which is connected with chemistry, because you know what we have, we Indians are very, very innovative when it comes to product formulation. We are absolutely superb. We are very, very fast in our response time, even faster than the Chinese. But what we lack here today is access, poor infrastructure, access to working capital, which is very, very cheap, which is the advantage the Chinese have. If you can have this figured out, I think there are rich pickings for even the specialty chemicals industry, of which dyes and pigments and colors and resins and all these kind of things are good examples. So I have taken my 20-25 minutes of time. I've shortened my presentation because, you know, as I said that I didn't want to keep I could hear the stomach rumbling in some people. And I said, अभी तो लोग बोर होने वाले और थोड़े सोने वाले भी है धनु. नहीं. So I throw this open to questions and answers now. And if you can ask me any questions about my industry, about my experiences that I've had, I'll be glad to answer the questions. But ensure, my key takeaway points as I close this subject for today is ensure good leadership change, create professional management to the best of your ability. Do not wear too many hats of trying to do everything, because to me, the owner and the promoter should be looking more at strategic management rather than operational management. Okay? Today, there are many tools available to you. There are ERP systems. There's AI. I think that Aditya was trying to figure out some way to make membership things this thing. But if you go to some of these new AI tools, Aditya, you can get this whole thing to work it out in within 2 minutes, what probably took you about 2 days to work this out, you know. So many tools are available. So I think there are modern tools available. The most important thing is to be like an umbrella, open your mind, catch the rays, catch the ideas, and use it to the best. And I again congratulate the founding promoters, the older past presidents for enthusing your children to come into the business, because I'm telling you, the younger generation, this is the message that I have for you, and I'm really from the older generation, because, you know, I've seen Aditya, I've seen Gaurav as kids playing cricket and doing all those things, even Meghna. So maybe not you so much because you were on this side. But what I'm trying to tell you is this is a golden opportunity. Look to the bright side of this, look upon it with optimism, because I think India is in a sweet spot and we are going to be doing very, very well in future. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. See, Blue Ocean strategy is basically to segment your market into high growth, mature markets, you know, the classic grid example. And then identify an area, see who your competitors are. Identify a segment within which has the least competition, either because of lack of product innovation or because the margins have fallen very low. There's only two possibilities, correct? So you have to, basically, I think the biggest tool that you can use is product innovation, intelligent product innovation. Now, for example, if you look at the paint sector, decorative paints, okay, decorative paints have been dominated by Asian paints. Now you have a new entrant coming in. So what he does is that he doesn't get into conflict with Asian directly, but he uses some strategy to create a space for himself. So this is typically known as a blue ocean strategy, to look at the existing market and not become a me too, but to do something different in terms of channels, in terms of product innovation, in terms of whatever it requires to create that space which is where there is little competition. So that is my message as far as the blue ocean strategy is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Suman Naik. Can I please request again my father, Mr. Dhananjay Sathe, and past President IRMA to please give a memento. Thank you so much, Mr. Suman. I think he deserves a big round of applause. Thank you so much. Excellent. So this brings us to a close. It is my honor and privilege to give the vote of thanks today. And I must thank you all for being here for our AGM. Lovely to see you all in so many numbers, and especially great to see so many spouses here. Good to see the family bonding at IRMA. Great work by immediate past President Hiren. Hiren, it was wonderful. I can't see you right now, but I think you're there. Yeah. Great work by you and your team, and excellent term. And welcome Aditya. Aditya, all the best. I can't see you either, but all the best. And on behalf of all the members of IRMA, we are all with you. I'm of course with you, and we will all be doing great. All of us are invited to step down to the first floor. That's where we're going to be joining for drinks and dinner. The drinks are at the bar. We have to go down on the first floor, cross the restaurant on the left, just cross through the restaurant. The bar is at the back side. So we'll all be going together, and yes, and the food will be served down below this hall, but on the left. There's a banquet, and we're all around, so you can ask. No, that's okay. It's so the dinner's opposite the lift, and the bar is at the end. So that's it for today, and let's enjoy. Okay. Can I also request past presidents and the committee to stay back for a quick photo? And once again, thanks everyone for being here. Thanks Kananji for coordinating.